Do you want something amazing for your Nikon Z camera, for your portraiture, for your street photography, for your art, or for your profession? Because I have here a pro lens that it's considered budget because the price, it is very okay for what you get here on this 85mm f1.4 lens. So let's talk about this lens now. Hi there, Tudor Matescu here. I have here a monster of a lens regarding image quality, build quality, and yes, also size and weight. But this is a lens without any compromises from my point of view. Of course, I was able to see some problems from there and there, but regarding image quality, I'm blown away. So this lens, it's a master of a lens regarding bokeh-licious shots. And I would not say just bokeh-licious shots. I would say shots where you want your subject to pop like crazy, shots where you want to have colors, when you want to have contrast, when you want to have subject to background separation, when you want to have a nice melted foreground and a nice melted background. So a stellar lens regarding the end results. So what you can do with this lens, it is very, very hard to obtain with other f2 lenses or in other APS-C systems, because in the end it's a pro built lens with 11 aperture blades for a very, very smooth bokeh. So this lens, it is the Viltrox Pro 85mm f1.4 lens mounted on Nikon ZF. This lens weighs 800 grams, but it's totally worth every gram, because the results that you are getting with this lens are really something else. So you can't go wrong with this lens if you want to use it for portraiture photography, if you want to use it for nature photography, if you want to use it for nighttime street photography, so low light photography, if you want to use it for product photography, even if the minimum focus distance is not one of the best minimum focus distance out there, it's a normal minimum focus distance, better than Nikon Z 85mm f1.8. But for product photography, if you don't have a little tiny product, it will do the job very, very well. So let me address first the build and ergonomics of this lens on Nikon ZF and how I felt it in street photography. Well, I've used this lens with the small rig grip. So this package on Nikon ZF with the small rig grip was pretty heavy for everyday street photography, of course. In the end, I decided why not let the small rig grip at home and save at least 100 gram plus. And yes, just with the grip, the thumb grip of Nikon ZF, and with this package, it is much better and much suited for street photography and everyday photography when you need this quality. So regarding ergonomics, yes, on Nikon ZF, you must use it with two hands to balance it well, but of course it's staying very well also with one hand. It's very okay. So what we have on this lens? First, the lens, it is fully metal built, of course, with some plastics from there and there, and the focus ring is made from plastic, but it's very well damped for a focus by wire ring. Next, you have an aperture ring. Just listen here. It is music for my ears. So I think it's one of the best aperture rings that I was able to see and to use in my life. So top-notch aperture ring. If you love an aperture ring with nice clicks, you have it here. Next, also you have a declick button. So you can declick the lens and boom, you can use this lens for videography. And also it will enter in A mode and control however you want the lens. So very, very nice. Next, you also have an AF and manual focus switch, and also you have an FN button, a function button. So you have all the controls on this lens that you may want from my point of view. Also the lens, it is weather sealed and weather resistant. You have a nice rubber gasket, and also you have an USB-C for future firmware updates if they are needed. But I will address this at the AF part. And also regarding how this lens is staying on Nikon ZF, I would add that you have here a nice lens hood good, very well made, that I thought it was big, but I understand that the Sigma 85mm f1.4 lens hood, it's even bigger than this lens hood. So if you are a portrait photographer and want to impress your clients, this lens with the lens hood, it will totally impress your clients, because in general, a client, when it sees a big lens, it's thinking that you have a professional package. And assuming it will not be wrong, because it's a professional top-notch package, so pro-grade image quality. Now let me address a little the AF, how this lens perform on Nikon ZF. Well, regarding AF speed and accuracy, the lens was focusing crazy fast, almost as a sports lens. I would not call it yet a sports lens, but I was able to see that this lens was able to see eyes in the dark and track the eyes in the dark. So very hard lighting conditions and no problems. It felt like this lens had night vision. So I would call this lens a lens with night vision, because it was focusing crazy fast and accurate in very hard lighting conditions and very well. So focusing speed and IAF in ultra low lighting conditions, blazing fast. So when you have light, it's amazing, really amazing. So the AF speed and accuracy, 10 out of 10, no complaints here. So very fast, very accurate, again in night time street photography. It can't get harder than this. Again, very low lighting conditions. So I was really amazed, and this is one of the reasons why I can recommend this lens for a street photographer, if the street photographer is doing especially nighttime street photography. So for nighttime street photography, this is 10 out of 10. I'm really very impressed with the image quality, again, by night in low lighting conditions, and also the AF speed of this lens. Now let me address the image quality, what I like and what I dislike at image quality. Let's start first with two things that I was able to observe that this lens has. So at f1.4, yes, you have some vignetting. Of course, you'll see the vignetting there, and also you have some cat eye shape bokeh balls in some images. So these are all the problems regarding this lens for me, for my liking. If you want more details, check other reviews for the purple fringing and chromatic aberrations that of course you may see from there to there. But let's get to the good stuff. At f1.4, the lens, it is pretty sharp and with pretty good contrast. If you close the lens at f2, it is razor sharp and the contrast, it's mind-blowing. But I've used this lens just at f1.4 for that subject to background separation. And at f1.4, for me, it is again crazy sharp. I didn't felt the need to close the aperture at all. On contrary, I was glad to use this lens just at f1.4. For nature photography, for flower photography, for street photography, for nighttime photography, for detailed shots, big and small, at f1.4, this lens shined. This lens is delivering great colors, great contrast, great image quality in every corner from my point of view of the frame. So the subjects are exiting from the frame, they are looking very nice, very good. You have amazing 3D pop, amazing cut to the image, amazing details, amazing sharpness, very good and deep colors. The contrast, it's really amazing, top-notch contrast. Also the lens, it's melting the foreground and the background. So this lens is delivering in any lighting conditions, very important, top-notch image quality. So in any lighting conditions, you can't complain when you look what you'll get. So this is why I'm saying that this lens, it's deserving every gram, because what you get, you cannot love what you get with this lens. It's impossible not to love what you get with this lens. So I'm really impressed with the image qualities regarding this lens on the Nikon ZF. Now for who is this lens? From my point of view regarding the price of this lens, it can be considered a fair price. I can't call it a budget lens just like the other YouTubers, because again, we are comparing to what? We are comparing to Sigma, that it's around $1,000, and this is almost half the price, so $600. Is this budget? No. It is cheaper than Sigma? Yes, it is cheaper. It is as good as the Sigma 85mm f1.4? Well, all the reviewers showed that yes, it is as good as the Sigma 85mm f1.4 full frame version, but the only downside of this lens is the weight compared to Sigma. So Sigma weighs 625 grams and this lens weighs 800 grams. Does it have sense to pay $400 more for the Sigma just to save 200 grams? From my point of view, no. I've used the Sigma. One of my friends has it and I've put the hand on it. It is also heavy. They are feeling the same in hand from my point of view. So if you can save $400, why not go for this? Again, I'm not seeing any reason why not go for this just for 185 grams that you can save. The idea is that both lenses or other third-party manufacturer lenses or other options are more expensive and they have similar features. So I do feel that this is the best buy. I'm not saying this is the best budget lens. The best budget pro lens, I do feel that it's still Viltrox 85mm f2. But if you want an f1.4 lens to get that subject razor sharp, to make that subject pop like crazy, to have that option that an f2 lens it will not offer you, and if you are okay especially with the size, weight and price, I do think that this is the best buy lens in this pro lineup of lenses. Yes, you'll get really pro results. The image quality is one of a kind, and I would really get this lens for this kind of images. So this lens, it is totally suited if you are doing paid photography, so you are doing weddings and even photography or portraiture shoot, or why not TikTok videos, because this lens will blow out the background, will make the subject pop. The colors of Nikon ZF with this lens are crazy good, so everything is really perfect and you'll totally impress your clients. Now, if you are a hobbyist photographer, again, it really depends on you. 85mm f2, it can be sufficient for an everyday extraordinary compact 85mm lens on Nikon Z mount. But if you want the top notch image quality, if you want that popping, if you want those colors, if you want to take your photography at the next level, I really do think that this lens, it will really help you do this. So very important, this lens will help you get your photography to the next level, because I do think that you are able to see how the pictures are looking and there are no other discussions because the pictures are speaking for themselves. Also a little tidbit to address, this lens has a floating element and yes, you'll hear the element bumping in the lens when you'll move the lens. No problems. When you'll open the camera, you'll hear nothing. This is how the lens is made and it's no problem regarding the build quality and the durability of this lens. So again, I can recommend this lens if you want the latest and top-notch image quality, if you want that extra oomph, and more than that, I want to underline the AF speed. So with this lens, you win not just great top-notch image quality, but you win amazing, reliable AF speed for portraiture photography, for event and people photography. Again, not for sports photography, but this lens, it's very fast in ultra low lighting conditions. So how I've said, it has night vision. So totally recommending this lens. Get it using my affiliate links if you want. Links in the comments and description. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video, leave me your comments, and also subscribe to my newsletter. And what is free and is helping this channel to grow, it is to watch my next videos. Thank you and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.